Hello dear student friends, as a part of our online classes today we will start with another important topic of this chapter, and that is the era of one party dominance, and that is another political party of early period of India's independence, that is the Congress Socialist Party, which was later named as Socialist Party. So basically the Socialist Party. So the origin of this Socialist Party can be traced back to the Congress Socialist Party, which was formed in 1934 by some young people or young leaders at that point of time, in order to have some radical changes within the Congress party at that point of time. So basically the Congress Socialist Party, it was formed in 1934 by some young leaders of that time. Basically they wanted to have some radical changes within the Congress party. Acharya Narendra Dev, who is often called as the founding member of this Congress Socialist Party. But in 1948, when Congress Party, they introduced a new rule which restricted the dual membership of its member. Basically dual membership restricted, that is, a particular Congress member could not become a member of another political party. So it restricted the dual membership. So that actually one of the main reasons behind the emergence of or birth of the Socialist Party as a separate political party. So the Socialist Party, which basically came into exist in 1948. So as I said, that question often asked in the exam, that initially it was Congress Socialist Party. It's basically a political party that was formed within the Indian National Congress by some of the young political leaders of that time, in order to have some radical changes within the Congress party. But in 1948, when the Congress, Indian National Congress, they restricted the dual membership, so that actually compelled the members of the Congress Socialist Party to form a separate political party that is known as Socialist Party in 1948. Basically, it mainly, as I said, that it emphasized on democratic socialism. So the main, it believes, the Congress and the Socialist Party, which believes in democratic socialism. And what is interesting with this Socialist Party is that the party is different from both the Indian National Congress, as well as it is also different from the Communist Party. Why it is different from the Congress Party? Because when the party was formed, it vehemently criticized the Congress Party. Basically they held that Congress Party was responsible for the economic backwardness of the marginalized section, basically the peasant and working class people. So the Socialist Party, they alleged that Congress Party was favoring the capitalist and landlord section, and Congress Party was exploiting the peasant and working class people. So this is why it is quite different from the Congress Party. So Socialist Party different from the Congress Party. On the other hand, the Socialist Party also different from the Communist Party. Why? Because a Socialist Party, it believes in Indian constitutional parliamentary democratic setup, where the Communist Party, in its early phase, it against, or it criticized the Indian democratic setup, as the belief that Indian democratic setup is a sham, and sham sham, and it is something what they criticized it as a way to exploit the working class as well as the peasant section. So basically the the ideology of the Communist Party is basically some radical changes of the system, whereas the Socialist Party believes that the system is okay, but what they need, that they emphasize, is that some of the reform within the system which they emphasize. So this is why the Socialist Party was quite different from the Communist Party. So the party, which many other leaders of that party includes, as I said, that Acharya Narendra Dev, then Jayaprakash Narayan, then Ram Manohar Lohia, then Ashok Mehta. So numbers of these leaders were there within that particular Socialist Party. So the Socialist Party, they emphasized on the Congress Party, which responsible for the economic backwardness of the peasant and the working class people. Why? Because they were favoring the capitalist class as well as the landlord section. So some of the key objectives of this Socialist Party includes that the party believes in democratic socialism, number one. The party believes in Indian constitutional parliamentary setup as they contested the election in 1952, as well as in the subsequent election they contested the election. Number three is that the party believes that through the progressive economic changes, where state to play a key role in order to provide the benefits to the working class as well as the peasant section. So they emphasized on a strong as well as a very welfare role of the state in order to provide the benefits to the working class as well as peasant section and the landless laborers. This Socialist Party, they also emphasized on reform of the economic setup, where they emphasized that a strong centralized planning to be adopted in order to establish or in order to carry out the development programs basically. And they believe that the entire economy to be controlled by the state, and the economic mode of the economy, basically the relation of production as well as the mode of production, everything to be controlled by the state. So state role in economy is must according to this Socialist Party. But yes, the party faced the utmost crisis in 1955 when the Indian National Congress, they also adopted socialist principle within the Congress agenda, and that gave a jolt to the Socialist Party at that point of time. And this is the reason that the party, numbers of political parties, of numbers of leaders of Socialist Party, they started to make distance from the criticism towards the Indian National Congress. Even many of the Socialist Party leaders, they joined the Congress Party at that point of time. So after 1955, when the Congress Party, they adopted the socialist principle within the Congress Party agenda, so that gave a jolt to the Socialist Party at that point of time. And this is the reason that why the Socialist Party was unable to give a tough competition to the Indian National Congress at that point of time. And most importantly is that this particular the Socialist Party, it further in subsequent days the party further divided into many political parties, or we can say that numbers of political parties emerged from the Socialist Party, like Samyukt Socialist Party, SAMYUKT, Samyukt Socialist Party, Praja Socialist Party. Numbers of political parties emerged from this particular Socialist Party. As I said, the Samyukt Socialist Party, Praja Socialist Party, and in recent days, in recent time, like this Janata Dal Secular, Janata Dal United, then this Rashtriya Janata Dal, then Samajwadi Party. All these parties they had its link with this Socialist Party, because if we analyze the current RJD or the JDU or the JDS, Janata Dal Secular, Janata Dal United, Rashtriya Janata Dal of Bihar, there is Ladu Prasad Rashtriya Janata Dal United in Nitish Kumar, then Janata Dal Secular JDS in Karnataka, like Samajwadi Party in Uttar Pradesh. So if we analyze the leadership of all those political parties, so we can link most of the leaders, they has a legacy with the Socialist Party of that time. So because most of the leaders they traced to the particular Socialist Party. So this is in a very brief the Socialist Party as well as its key objectives, how it came into exist. But what is very interesting is that this particular political party, the Socialist Party, at that point of time, it had a very miserable election result at that point of time, because the party could not able to secure much number of seats at that point of time. As I said that in 1952 the party could not able to show its performance in the election, and subsequent period in 1957 and 1962, due to the Congress adoption of the socialist principle, this Socialist Party that started to collapse, and subsequently the party collapsed into many other parts. And as I said that in most of this particular the current socialist parties that exist, it has its links with the Socialist Party. So this is in a very brief the history of the Socialist Party. As I said, there are some of the important questions that are often asked in the exam, that the objectives of Socialist Party, differences between the Socialist Party and the Communist Party, the differences between the Socialist Party and the Congress Party. These are the important things. Now coming back to one of the very important question of this chapter is that emergence of opposition political parties in first 3 general election or in the early period of independence. So what are the role that opposition political parties play in a democracy? So in a particular in a democracy, the opposition political parties, they play a very significant role in making the government responsible to the people, basically, because the opposition political parties, they criticize the government policies, they make the common people aware regarding the government policies, they make the people aware regarding the any kind of anti-people activities of the government, and this makes the common people to mold their opinion. This makes the common people to mold their opinion either in favor of the government or against the government, basically. So the opposition political parties played a very crucial role in a democracy. Number 2 is that in a democracy, the opposition political parties, it makes the government not to become a dictatorial government, because the opposition political party, they ask the question to the government in the parliament. They asked the government regarding the expenditure they made. They asked the government regarding the different policies they are framing for the people. So in one word, the opposition political parties, they makes the government accountable to the people. Thirdly, in the early period of independence, that is in the early phase of this first regional election, though the performance of the opposition political parties are very, marginal at that point of time, but yes, though the result was very marginal, but its impact was very, very significant for further democratic development in India. Why? Because in later period, basically from 1960s, the gradual scenario had changed at that point of time, as the Congress no longer remained only a dominant force in the electoral politics, as many of the regional political parties emerged, and not only emerged, even they formed the government in their own state. Like in 1967 election, the this DMK, this Dravida Munnetru Khazagam in Tamil Nadu, they formed the government. In the same way, the Akali Dal, they formed the government in Punjab. So the many regional political parties, they emerged, and had the opposition political parties, they quit at that point of time because of their marginal performance in the election, in the first general election. Probably the situation would have completely different at that point of time. But yes, because of the existence of these opposition political parties at that point of time, the in subsequent period, basically in later period, the performance of those opposition political parties were, I mean, huge enough, as they not only makes the government responsible, even they form the government in their own state. And in later period, in 1977, even the opposition political party, they came to power at the center also, challenging the Congress party. In the same way, if we analyze that in 1989, the Janata Dal, they formed the government in 1989 under BP Singh. Then again in 1990, the Chandrasekhar, he formed the government, though it was at the help of the Congress. But yes, the opposition political party played a crucial role in the balance setup of Indian democracy. And in 1999, the BJP-led National Democratic Alliance was formed. Again in 2014, the BJP-led the National Democratic Alliance, they formed the government. And again in 2019, the BJP-led this National Democratic Alliance, they formed the government. So in one word, what we can say is that the role of opposition is very significant for a democracy. Why? Because though in a democracy, the opposition political parties, they could not able to form the government, they played the role of opposition, they sit in the opposition. But yes, even by sitting in the opposition, these particular opposition political parties, they consistently they can put their effort in terms of making the government responsible and accountable to the people. And through their continuous and constant effort, even the opposition political parties, they collectively they form the government in many of the states. Even the opposition political parties, they emerged as a significant alternative political party at the national level as well as at the state level by challenging the dominance of Indian National Congress. So this is the reason that the opposition political parties, they played a very crucial role in democracy. Fourthly, another important significant aspect of this opposition political party in the early period, that is in the first general election, is that there was a great atmosphere between the ruling party as well as the opposition political party. Why? Because even in the early period of independence, even if we analyze the first general election, where the Congress formed the government, but the Congress, even the Nehru, Jawaharlal Nehru as a prime minister, he even invited the opposition party members to join his ministry, to join his cabinet at that point of time. Like for example, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, though he was from the opposition political party, but he became the first law minister. In the same way, this person Shyama Prasad Mukherjee also joined the Nehru's cabinet. So in the early period, it was a very cordial atmosphere where there between the ruling party as well as the opposition political party. As I said that even the government they provided an opportunity. They provided an opportunity to the opposition leaders to join their council of ministers at that point of time, which is very significant for a country or for a democratic setup. But yes, that particular atmosphere, cordial relations started to decline due to the growing electoral competition, due to the growing electoral competition among the different political parties in the subsequent period. As in the later period, basically due to a constant, due to a consistent, due to a growing, this political or electoral competition among the political parties, it actually declined that kind of atmosphere, that kind of cordial atmosphere between the government as well as the opposition political party. Because in the subsequent period, what happened, even the government which formed at the center, it tried to dismantle the government at the state, whenever the opposition, political parties, they form the government in state. As I gave the example in the last class that in 1959 the elected government in Kerala was dismissed by the center, which was when the Indian National Congress was there in the center. So the same things happened even in the subsequent period also, because in 1967 when the Akali Dal formed the government in Punjab, so in subsequent period even the Akali Dal government was also dismissed by the center. So such kind of atmosphere that completely dominated at that point of time, where the growing competition between the opposition as well as the ruling government that started to happen. So yes, in the subsequent period, the opposition political parties, they started to, they play a very significant role in making the government responsible towards the people. So these are the important topic from the chapter, and I hope that you have understand the chapter. This will be enough and sufficient for this chapter, Era of One Party Dominance. Yes, let us in a very brief discuss about one very important topic of the chapter, is the ballot paper system. So in a democracy, the collection of public opinion, in a democracy, the collection of people's consent was done through this ballot paper system. So in a democracy, because how to collect the public opinion? So this is the ballot paper system is the mechanism through which the people's consent were collected. Basically, people's consent were collected, and this ballot paper system. So what is this ballot paper? Ballot means a particular box basically, and paper means a plain paper. So what happened in that particular plain paper, the party, the symbol of that particular party is there, as well as the name of the candidates were also there. So a particular voter, they have to they put a stamp on that particular person whom he or she like to give his consent. So that particular consent that is collected in the form of vote in our country. So this ballot paper system, it collect that particular consent of the people, and this is how the election result declared in a democracy. So till 1990s, this ballot paper system was the only mechanism through which the public opinion were collected, through which the election were held, and the collection of public opinion were counted through that particular ballot paper system. So basically it was a manual procedure, because a leaflet to be there, a page to be there, एक मतलब व्हाइट सा पेपर रहेगा, मतलब उस पर्टिकुलर पेपर की एक साइड में पार्टी का जो सिंबल रहता है, दूसरे साइड में जो कैंडिडेट है उनका नाम लिखा रहेगा, और मतलब एक साइड में एक ब्लैंक जगह रहेगा। अगर आपको किसी भी पार्टी को आपको अगर वोट देना है तो वहाँ पर आपको अपना एक स्टैम्प रहता है, वहाँ पर आपको स्टैम्प मारना है। तो पहले तो मतलब कुछ लोग अंगूठा भी लगाते थे, फिर वहाँ पर स्टैम्प लगाना पड़ता है। तो अलग अलग जगह पे अलग अलग प्रोसीडियर को अपनाया गया है। दिस बेसिक बैलेट पेपर सिस्टम। फिर जब आपको वो पर्चा को आपको फोल्ड करना है और बक्सा में डाल देना है, दिस कॉल्ड एज अ बैलेट पेपर सिस्टम। नाउ इन द लास्ट पार्ट ऑफ 1990s, this particular ballot paper system, because it takes too much of time, as well as it's sometimes the manipulation of this election, I mean the counting were there. So in such circumstances, in the last part of 1990s, electronic voting machine were introduced. In the last part of 1990s, the electronic voting machine were introduced to collect the public opinion in an election. By 2004, the entire country, throughout the country, this EVM was introduced in order to collect the public opinion. And later edition of this EVM is the VVPAT, PAT, that is Voter Verified Paper Audit Trail, Voter Verified Paper Audit Trail, VVPAT. So now what happened, the voter can verify to whom they are casting their vote, basically VVPAT. So this is the latest addition of technology with that EVM basically. So this is in a very brief the history of the collection of vote or the public consent in an election basically. So this is one of the important topic of the chapter, that is the election procedure. Now as I already said that these are the important topic of the chapter. Now a question that often asked in the exam is that the differences between one party dominance in Mexico and one party dominance in India. So I hope that you can easily trace the differences. Like in Mexico, the one party dominance was, it was basically characterized by some unfair or illegal use of the public machineries, or illegal use of the government machineries or public administration to win the election. Whereas in India, through a free and fair election, the Indian National Congress Party emerged as victorious. In Mexico, the ruling government, the ruling political party, they used to indulge in rigging in the election. They used to manipulate the election result, whereas in case of India, such things were not happened at that point of time. In Mexico, as I said, that the ruling PRI, that is Institutional Republican Party, it adopted the arrest as well as harassing the opposition leaders, opposition members, in order to threaten them, so that though the opposition political parties existed, but it was only in formality. Whereas in India, such things were not happened. Rather, the opposition political parties also equally that took participate in the election, and out of that the Congress party emerged as victorious. So these are the differences between the case of Mexico as well as the case of India. In the same way, when in Mexico the free and fair election was held in 2000, the PRI lost the election, but in India the Congress party that continued to form the government in subsequent period, as it is a free and fair election, as the people cast their vote according to their choice, according to their choice of their candidate as well as the political party. So these are the differences between the Mexico as well as India regarding the one party dominance. In the same way, differences between China and India. China, the one party dominance is characterized by their constitution, whereas in Indian constitution no such kind of restriction to the party is there. In China there is a ban on any alternative political party other than the Communist Party, but in India the numbers of political parties exist, as it is a multi-party democratic setup. So these are the basic differences between India as well as China regarding one party dominance. I hope that you understand the chapter. If any doubt are there from the chapter, you can feel free to share with me. Thank you so much.